الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My dear sisters and brothers, the volunteers will be coming around to make the collection. May Allah bless you for all the contribution that you'll be giving to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We first send praise and thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing us the opportunity to be here present, to join with the members of this community for the Jummah Salat. We welcome each and every one of you who are here in person in the mosque. And we also welcome those of you who are online for choosing to join us here at TARIC. As always, we welcome you. And if you online who would like to make a donation to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is a QR code that comes up on your screen. If you click on that, you will be able to make a donation. And if not, you can go onto our website at www.taric.org. There is a donation button that you can click on, and it will give you a few options as to how you can contribute to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may Allah bless each and every one of you for your contributions. While the collections are being made, there's a few announcements that we'd like to share with you. The first one being that we will be observing the Isra wal Miraj event here in our masjid on Sunday. That is a couple of days from now. Sunday, January the 26th, from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. That will be upstairs in our gym. There will be a presentation from Sheikh Zahir Bakas, the Imam at the Great Lakes Mosque in Brampton, and also from our Imam, Sheikh Imran Ali. That's from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Admission is free, and there will be light refreshments available. So please come out and join us for that event. It's on Isra and Wal Miraj. Then, on February the 1st, which is next week, Saturday, there is a program that we are having here, which is actually being sponsored by a few people, a few organizations, one being the Walnut Foundation, the other being Princess Margaret Hospital, the next being the Black Creek Community Health Center, and also TARIC. And the MPP Tom Rakosevich is also involved in presenting this program. What is this program about? This program is for males 40 years and over. There will be free testing for PSA, for prostate cancer. Normally, this is a charge if you were to go to your medical doctors, but there will be free testing for prostate cancer, and there will be also testing for blood sugar levels and pressure. So we are asking for all of you who would like to be tested 40 years and over to please come out and utilize this opportunity to get testing for these medical conditions. And there is a registration that is online. We will have it on our website. So you can go to our website. We will put that up later today. Now, there is also walk-ins. However, the problem would be that there's only about a limited amount of spaces available. I think it's about 100. So if you want to really get into the event, please go and register online. Again, that is the February the 1st, and it's happening between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. Another event that we're having is on February the 15th. So that will be the holiday weekend for Family Day. And on the Saturday, we are planning a program, a seminar from 12 to 6 p.m. It will be entitled Ramadan and some of the aspects that we would like to understand about things that we do in Ramadan. It will deal with health and wellness. So please, we will give you more details on that probably next week once we finalize the program. So that will be the Saturday, February 15th from 12 to 6 p.m. Now, the very next day, which is the Sunday of that long weekend, we are having our Family Day brunch. That is happening between 10 a.m. and 12 noon. Tickets are available. They are $20 for adults and $10 for children under 10. So please get your tickets. It's an event that is normally well attended, and you would want to get your tickets early. Now, the Tarbiyah Halakha, which happens every Sunday in person from 2 p.m., that continues as we move along, throughout the year. But on this Sunday, it will be it's cancelled because we are having our Isra wal Miraj program from 4 to 5. But other than that, it will continue on Sundays from 2 p.m. in person upstairs. The Khatam Quran Dua program with a halakha, and the topic is Ramadan, a journey to inner peace. That continues on Thursdays from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., conducted online on Zoom by our Sheikh Imran Ali. Please go on our website, and the information to join him on Zoom will be there. And I just have one sad piece of announcement to give to you. Normally, we have rotating imams here for khutbahs every Friday. One of the imams from Ottawa, Imam Ziad Delich, who has been here with us, and very recently, his wife passed away recently. And we say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive her and grant her Jannatul Firdaus. Our khatib for today is our dear Sheikh Dr. Abdullah Hakim Quick. And we welcome him here and ask him to now come forward and lead us in the khutbah and in salat. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah waliy salihin. Wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh khatam al-anbiya'i wal mursaleen. Allahumma salli wa sallam ala abdika wa rasulika Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa man da'a bi da'watihi wa istanna bi sunnati ila yawm ad-din. Wa sallam tasliman kathira. Amma ba'd. فأوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل والسمع والطاعة ويقول الحق سبحانه أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله ولتنظر نفس ما قدمت لغد واتقوا الله إن الله خبير بما تعملون ولا تكونوا كالذين نسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم أولئك هم الفاسقون. All praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds. And surely Allah is the friend and protector of the righteous. And I bear witness that Allah is one and has no partners, and that Muhammad, the son of Abdullah, is his servant, his messenger, the seal of the prophets, the seal of the messengers. May Allah always and constantly send peace and blessings to Muhammad, to his family, his companions, and all those who call to his way, and establish his sunnah to the day of judgment. As to what follows, O you who believe, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has revealed his book in an eternal fashion, that the revelation that happened over 1400 years ago would still be of critical importance to us today. And it will continue to be of critical importance until the day of resurrection. And Allah Azza wa Jal has told us in Surah Al-Hashr, O you who believe, have the consciousness of Allah, and let every soul look to what it put forward for tomorrow, and fear Allah. Surely Allah is well aware of all that you do. And be not as those who forgot Allah, and so He made them forget themselves. Surely they are the disobedient ones. O you who believe, Allah subhanahu has connected taqwa, the consciousness of the Creator, being aware that Allah has power over all things. Allah has connected this with time, with the future, that with your consciousness of Allah, you need to not be satisfied with the present, but we have to think about the future. And human beings at different points in time collectively start thinking about the future in many different ways. The last few days and weeks and what we are in now is one of those time periods where there is a juncture. In one direction is imminent destruction, but in another direction there is hope. And so people are wondering about time. Everyone is waiting for something to happen. What will go on in the next few days? What will happen in the next few weeks? Will the ceasefire in Palestine continue? Will the people go back to their homes and rebuild? Or is it just another trick? Will the fires in Los Angeles continue? People are wondering. Canadians are wondering. Will Canada become the 51st state of America? Will Greenland become 52? So everybody is waiting for change, waiting to see what will happen. But one thing we know for sure is that this is an age of deception, where the greatest liars are held in the highest esteem. When the ones who can fabricate and falsify the truth are made leaders of countries. And it is moving us toward the time of the great deceiver, who will come as a sign of the day of resurrection. And so the believers know and recognize the only real truth that we can hold on is the Book of Allah and the authenticated words of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They have made it clear. And the Prophet ﷺ said, "Taraktukum ala al-mahajjat al-bayda, layluha kan-nahariha, la yazighu anha illa halik." I have left you on a clear path. Its night is like its day. And the only one who will go off this path is one who is destined to be destroyed. And so we see this coming about, the destruction. People working for their own destruction. The rich and the famous and the powerful in this world are under a test. They think that they are on top of everything, but they are digging their own graves. They think that their wealth will lead them to a type of paradise. They are failing in this test because the poor are becoming poorer. The lands of the earth are being devastated. The genocide in Palestine could have stopped months ago. It did not have to continue until now, and even though it's supposed to be a ceasefire, murder and destruction is still happening in these sacred lands of Islam. The destruction of Muslim societies, Iraq, Libya, Sudan, failed states being developed where people are in a false state of unity, a false state of borders, but they are really in a state of confusion. And at the base of this is arrogance and rebellion. That the rich and the famous, the powerful are in straight up rebellion. Their only goal is profits. It is wealth. It is power. It is fame. But they don't realize that actions have consequences. Even Isaac Newton, one of Europe's greatest scientists, in his third law of motion, and Isaac Newton learned from Islamic scholars the basis of his understanding of physics and chemistry on the earth was set by the Muslim scholars in the golden age of Islam. Newton said, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So every action in this universe, eventually there will be an equal and opposite reaction. And so it was with the arrogant kingdoms of the world. So it was with the Ad and the Thamud, Madain Saleh in the Arabian Peninsula, with the Greeks, with the Romans, with the ancient Egyptians. Where are they now? Where are their civilizations? When they were on top, they felt that they were the greatest in the world. And one of the clearest examples for us, a recent example, which is coming in Europe, and that was the Western Roman Empire. We need to study what happened to the Romans to realize what is going on with us now. They had a major civilization. They had conquered somewhere near 5 million square kilometers they were controlling. Not only military, but their architecture, their so-called civic law. But their problem, the essence of their problem was internal. Corruption, immorality was stalking the land in ancient Rome. And quiet as it's kept, one of the great problems that brought down the Roman Empire was economic. Their inflation rose up. They could not balance their books. And then the hand of Allah clearly came on top of them, the environment. droughts, floods, plagues, until finally the Western Roman Empire was destroyed in 410 AD. Interesting parallels for us, because the Quran is teaching us and teaching to human beings, if people would only heed the call of the last message. And Allah Azza wa Jalla in chapter 51, verse 41 has told us, considering Ad, وَفِي عَادٍ إِذْ أَرْسَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ الرِّيحَ الْعَقِيمَ. Allah said, and in the story of Ad was another lesson. We sent against them the devastating wind. Remember this. Devastating wind. مَا تَذَرُ مِنْ شَيْءٍ أَتَتْ عَلَيْهِ إِلَّا جَعَلَتْهُ كَالرَّمِيمِ. And then Allah said, there was nothing that this wind came upon that it did not reduce to ashes. Ashes and rubble. And so we see it happening today. And there is not enough being said about what is happening in Los Angeles. It is a sign from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. California itself, as of 2024, its gross product, state product, was $4.1 trillion. If California was a country in itself, it would be the fourth richest country in the world. Manufacturing, technologies, but underneath this was the filth. California had become and is still the adult pornography capital of the world. California is a place where the use of drugs, where the rebellion against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is clear within the society. And when the fires hit, they hit in an unprecedented way. It was a perfect storm. The climate disaster of the heat, the trees were dry, the society was out of control. And when the flames were bursting out, one of the officials said in American English, he said, Mother Nature owned us. Meaning Mother Nature is controlling us, is totally in control. No, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala owned you and owns you up until now. The destruction has hit. Ar-Rih al-Aqim, they call it Santa Ana winds. Devastating. Everywhere it hits, it comes in a destructive, threatening, devastating form. It began on January 7th. And up until now, it is destroying and destroying. It is now estimated that somewhere around 40,588 acres have been burnt. 12,400 structures are damaged and destroyed. 205,000 of their residents are displaced. This is only since January 7th. Ar-Rih al-Aqim. The losses are somewhere around $275 billion. It is the greatest destruction that has hit America in its history. They have never experienced anything like this. The Palisades fire itself, 23,713 acres. The Eaton fire, 14,117 acres. But as quiet as it's kept, these fires are not contained. The fires are continue, and now there is the Hughes fire, which has just broken out in the last few days. 30,000 people have been displaced in the last 2 days. The Sapelkova fire, breaking out, continuing And then in America, in the south of America, they are hit with the opposite of fire. They are hit with ice and cold. In the southern part of America, they say it is a once-in-a-generation snowstorm and ice storm. They have not experienced anything like this in over 100 years. If they would only listen to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we need to be clear about this. This is not a day of joy for us, because Muslims do not enjoy to see human suffering. Especially in California, where there are Muslim communities. Some of our friends and our colleagues are living right in the Los Angeles area. But again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has spoken. When human beings go over the limits and rebel against the Creator, the destruction is inevitable. And Allah told us, وَاتَّقُوا فِتْنَةً لَا تُصِيبَنَّ الَّذِينَ ظَلَمُوا مِنْكُمْ خَاصَّةً وَاعْلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ شَدِيدُ الْعِقَابِ. And beware of a fitna. In this case, it's a punishment that will not strike the oppressive people only, and know that Allah is mighty in power and His punishment is irresistible. And so this is a wake-up call. It should be a wake-up call on all different levels, on an individual level, on a family level, on a collective level. We have to realize for every action, there's a reaction. And the poor suffering people in Gaza, the people who are suffering in the Sudan because of man-made proxy wars, the people who are lifting their hands in dua. The Prophet ﷺ has told us, اتقوا دعوة المظلوم فليس بينها وبين الله حجاب. Beware of the prayer of the oppressed person, because there is no barrier in between this prayer and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so the prayers are reaching. The prayers are coming to pass. And it is a process that we are in. But one of the greatest tests, I believe, in looking at the rich and the famous, is our own people. The Prophet ﷺ said, Inna li kulli umma fitna wa fitnatu ummati al-mal. Every nation has a trial and test, and the trial and test of this nation is wealth. Allah bless this nation with wealth. Now we're finding gold. Now we're finding precious minerals. But what will be done with this? It is a test. And realize that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is well aware of all that we do. Will we use this wealth in the proper way? Gaza needs to be rebuilt. Will you rebuild America? Or will you rebuild the lands destroyed in the Muslim world? Allah has laid the conditions and set out the test very clearly. But the Prophet ﷺ, who did not speak from himself, said clearly, you will follow the ways of those who came before you. Inch by inch and foot by foot, even if they crawl into a lizard's hole, you will crawl in there with them. And they asked, O Messenger of Allah, who is this? Is it the Christians and the Jews? He said, who else? You will follow them inch by inch. And so we are at a juncture point, a very critical point. There is much for us to feel joy that bombs are lifted temporarily off the Muslim peoples, that Muslim people can go and at least see their homes, bury their dead, that there's a chance for the rest of us to help them in any possible way that we can, to continue with our du'as, to continue to support the relief agencies, to continue to apply pressure, political pressure, economic pressure, wherever we can, to lift the difficulty off the Muslim world. This is a critical point in time, and Allah has blessed us with the greatest of all messengers who has made it clear to us what our way is. تَرَكْتُكُمْ عَلَى الْمَحَجَّةِ الْبَيْضَاءِ لَيْلُهَا كَنَّهَارِهَا لَا يَزِيغُ عَنْهَا إِلَّا هَالِكٌ. I left you on a clear way, whose night is like its day, and nobody will go away from this except somebody who's in destruction. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us that ability to hang on to Sirat al-Mustaqim. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repair the Muslim world and bring it back to its justice. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala repair our confused political leaders and bring them from darkness into light. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy upon the children of the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect the dignity of the women of the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah guide and strengthen the men of the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah take all of our believing Muslims who have fallen, enter them into paradise. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enter the wife of our beloved Imam Ziyad into the highest part of Jannah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take the souls of many of our brothers, Brother Mir Khan and so many of us who have fallen in these days. May Allah forgive them, purify them, and give them the highest part of paradise. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب استغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله الواحد الأحد الفرد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد وأصلي وأسلم على سيد الأولين والآخرين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. فيا عباد الله اتقوا الله حيثما كنتم ويقول الحق سبحانه مخبرا وآمرا إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم على عبدك ورسولك محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين وارض الله عن الخلفاء الراشدين أبو بكر عمر عثمان وعلي وعنا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. ربنا فاغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وذل الشرك والمشركين ودمر أعداء الدين وانصر عبادك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم ألف بين قلوبنا واصلح ذات بيننا واهدنا سبل السلام ونجنا من الظلمات إلى النور وجنبنا الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن وبارك لنا في أسماعنا وأبصارنا وقلوبنا وأزواجنا وذرياتنا وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين. اللهم لا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا دينا إلا قضيته ولا مريدا إلا شفيته ولا ميتا إلا رحمته ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا إلا قضيتها يا أرحم الراحمين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. وقوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله.